I wrote the following article for the journal called A Buddhist Quarterly, published by Jodo Shinshu International. It came out in July 2023. I entitled it, Why I Affirm a Common Dualistic Shin Buddhist Narrative. Ever since a few months after my spiritual awakening experience almost 45 years ago, which was absent any religious belief system, Buddhism's Pure Land doctrine has provided the spiritual foundation for my life. While in comparison with millions of others, I live in relative ease, I have nevertheless endured an array of hardships and obstacles. Perhaps not surprisingly, my low points have been the times when I have most appreciated the compassion and benevolence of other power, as imagined by me in the form of Amitabha Buddha, his manifestation as the eternal Shakyamuni Buddha of the Lotus Sutra, and the many cosmic bodhisattvas emanating from Amida who benefit sentient beings throughout the universe. More specifically, I have been sustained due to the unquestionable yet inconceivable felt reality of Amida's embrace in the context of my own inadequate capacity for practice. The confidence that I am accepted just as I am by Amida has given me much comfort over these many years, knowing that he will never forsake me. I thus personally rely on the saving power of Amida's primal vow, knowing that no self-power practices on my part are needed and that no retrogression is possible. To help frame my sense of concrete assurance, I want to share a snippet from the November 2016 Scientific American pertaining to how children learn languages. In that article, the authors say new research shows that young children use various types of thinking that may not be specific to language at all, such as the ability to classify the world into categories. These capabilities allow language to happen. If this hypothesis is valid, it has significant implications for helping us understand the basic dilemma that we face in trying, through various practices, to perceive reality from a non-dualistic perspective, as is encouraged by many of the Buddhist self-power-oriented teachings. If the nature of language and of thinking itself inherently discriminates this versus that, we can conclude that such an attribute is a root cause accounting for our ordinary dualistic mode of perceiving and relating to the world. Hence, it is extraordinarily difficult for humans to experience non-dual consciousness and the associated awareness of our mysterious interconnectedness. Going a step further, in reflecting upon the teachings in the Prajnaparamita Sutras, we can gain at least an intellectual appreciation for the fact that reality is neither dual nor non-dual. In other words, we are told in these sutras that it is important to avoid becoming attached even to emptiness or shunyata. To reiterate, our common ordinary way of perceiving is dualistic because we do not have the Buddha's non-dual wisdom perspective or prajna. We routinely break our world down into this as different from that, me as different from you, me as different from Amida, even though from a non-dual perspective no being truly has an existence that is completely separate and independent of others. That said, we each do have our own individualized characteristics and life trajectories based on countless causes and conditions. It is not that we are all one undifferentiated entity. I like the term not two. The comparison between waves and the ocean is an apt metaphor that we read in the texts. Much Buddhist literature is designed to help us not be trapped by our ordinary dualistic way of perceiving reality. However, again, we don't want to get hung up on non-dualism either. That is just another extreme which leads down other dead-end paths such as nihilism, or a temptation to think we need to establish non-dual consciousness via various meditative and non-meditative practices in order to attain supreme, perfect enlightenment, or Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. I avoid this latter extreme by simply reflecting on my gross limitations as regards any form of practice. I frankly tried following the Bodhisattva path, and failed. I am too filled with blind passions, with greed, with aversion, and with ignorance. The fact of the matter is that the words I'm using right now, which are based on language that evolved as a function of my brain being wont to categorize, have only a minimal ability to communicate the actual nature of fundamental reality. Nor can the Prajnaparamita Sutras, despite their amazing profundity, perfectly describe the nature of reality. However, words and concepts can be a more or less effective, quote, finger pointing to the moon. This is why there is beneficial meaning in a religious doctrine that resonates with what is ultimately true. In any case, from the point of view that neither dualism nor non-dualism accurately characterizes reality, I can sincerely say it's not problematic for me to view the Shin Buddhist narrative dualistically. It is actually quite natural for me as an ordinary, unenlightened being. Such a belief system provides comfort. It hurts no one. And most importantly, it resonates as true in the heart, which functions beyond all words and concepts. Haven't millions upon millions of Pure Land Buddhists over the centuries thought about Amida as a personal savior? Count me with them. Perhaps by taking this approach, I am accepting and affirming a myth. However, a consensually imagined and mutually accepted mythopoetic scenario is not, strictly speaking, a falsehood. As the Lotus Sutra teaches, the Buddha utilizes expedient means to help us beings in this Saha world to make progress on the spiritual path, to enhance our ability to endure hardships, to give us a greater sense of happiness, and to have a higher level of comfort about what the future holds, given the context of dukkha, the suffering that is so often present in our human life, and the inevitability of our own demise. And as I approach the 3/4 century mark in my life, I, frankly, contemplate death almost daily. I am therefore willing to acknowledge that the story about Dharmakara Bodhisattva becoming Amida and having a land of ultimate bliss in the western part of the universe, where I will be reborn when I die, where I will immediately attain enlightenment and be able to return to this world to help others in ways I am incapable of doing now, is an expedient or skillful means. Prajnaparamita, Shunyata, and the broader Mahayana scriptural framework is, to my mind, also a form of expedient means. No written system can tell the whole story. In summary, the basic idea is that no way of breaking the world down, no dualistic perspective, however profound, can articulate definitively who we are, what we are, and or the nature of the environment in which we live. Such understandings and insights are literally inconceivable and cannot be characterized by use of words and concepts. Such insights are also beyond my ability to fathom as a being filled with blind passions. After all, didn't Master Shinran himself in the Tanisho say that he didn't know if Honen's teaching of the Nembutsu was true or would lead to his ending up in hell, but that he would be bound for hell in any case, so he reasoned why not believe in Honen and the other Dharma masters regarding the efficacy of the Nembutsu as promised in the larger Sukhavati Sutra. So, I believe that our Jodo Shinshu system of pure grace, as it is shared in Orthodox Dharma talks, has face validity. This common, shared, dualistic interpretation gives me great comfort and helps me appreciate the amazing opportunity I have as a human being to be alive, to help others as best I can, and to try to make a positive difference during my travels in this mysterious universe, knowing that nothing I do is for the purpose of spiritual advancement toward enlightenment in this life. Meanwhile, the benefit of having confidence in that future outcome has already been freely gifted to me by Amida. All I can say in gratitude is Namo Amida Butsu.